the guru of Squad 00, the assassin like no other. Yes, I'm the best at what I do. Is here to bring you once again another exposed video. This time suspect number 6. 6 for my Espanol friends, my friends who speak Spanish, for those who can't spit the language. Now, here's the show. There is no favoritism. It doesn't matter what series you come from, because this time I'm bringing you from that Hunter greatness. That Hunter though. And yes, even in Hunter, there is a character or two who needs to be exposed for what he or she is. And this time we shall come with Shaiapouf, better known aka Pouf, one of the 3 royal guard of Medium the King, the Ant King, the Chimera Ant King. Now Pouf, people be like, what? But Pouf is one of the most powerful people we've seen in the series so far, one of the most powerful characters. Really? Who knows? Regardless of all that, Pouf, it doesn't matter. This dude needs to be told about for the flaws that he is. Now, let me begin by saying this was clearly the weakest of the royal guards, pure and simple. Morale, even his weakened state, probably could have taken this cat out. It was clearly said, even Killer Zodic, because of the situation at hand, could have taken this guy out. Now, when you have an ability that, although it's very useful, but leaves you in a very vulnerable position, you use that on multiple occasions. When your duty is to protect the king, like Neferpitos did, by the way, Pedo, and even Yuppie, to some degree, even though he had become individualistic, was about protecting the king. He started on that manipulative stuff, but not entirely. Pouf, you're supposed to be protecting the king. You're all about the king, right? The king. I'll get on that in a second. But regardless, when you about that, and you make dumbass mistakes like this, poor decision making as this, to leave yourself potentially to get murked on multiple occasions. Oh, and don't get me talking about going freaks would have put in that work too. How many times do you put yourself in vulnerable positions because you don't think rationally? You're totally illogical in your mindset. Now, talk about marrying the king, who one of two things. Number one, Pouf wanted to be his gay lover. Look, man, don't come at me saying, oh, you're homophobic or some nonsense like that. Look, man, the dude was straight up homosexual. And while we don't know the Chimera Ants how their sexuality works, if they have it, if they're straight up asexual, if they have a, they did say they kind of had, they bred through, at least the higher ups bred through, bred with kings. What, how am I going to say hermaphroditically? Heterosexually. They did somehow have a, not asexual, what's the term I'm looking for, where it's the two sexes come together? Anyways, they had that kind of breeding, right? This dude, Pouf, and I understand royal guards don't normally breed, but still, this dude was all on the king's dick. Let's be real, all on the king's dick. Even though he didn't have one, he was all about the king. He was thirsting. Like, this dude was taking a thirst buster or polar pop for your Circle K. Who knows what that is? He was taking a big 64-ounce heavily all the time, and he wanted the king too badly, but he was not in love with the king. Mind me, this dude was so manipulative. Pouf was. This dude was so, he was a mock heavenly demon Don Quixote do Flamingo, aka Joker. He was a mock do Flamingo. This dude was trying to pull the strings, not like Welfin. See, Welfin was trying to imitate the former Bezeth. But doggone, this dude Pouf is trying to play the king. He tried to play the king, and then look, you are not Varys. You are not the Spider. You are not Littlefinger from Game of Thrones. That Game of Thrones is great. It's no, Pouf. You ain't on that level. You are several levels down, and so every play you played got found out. The fact is, you're trying to trick your own royal guard members, but you're about protecting the king. You trying to play Pito? Pito more to murder you if she found out. She, he, whatever. I don't care what you want trying to say Pito's sex is. Never Pito, by the way. You trying to get UP in a silent agreement, bro, against the king? Especially after the king's got your own ability of which he can learn the truth and read your mind. You still trying to play the king? Are you trying to make up excuses? Really? Oh, you can't do this. It's gonna defy the gang. Like this, like he wasn't intelligent. You assaulting the man's intelligence. I shouldn't say man. You assaulting the king's intelligence, who you thought of as almighty and whatnot. You trying to assault his intelligence, trying to figure out he ain't gonna figure out your little ploys you trying to play, your little plays here and there. Really? You had no control over the situation, yet you trying to manipulate. Where they do that at? Where they do that at? Damn, talk about this dude being more fairy than doggone Puck, Oberon, King Oberon, and Queen Titania combined. For those who know literature, and know Shakespeare specifically, you know that I'm referring to Midsummer Night's Dream. Midsummer Night's Dream, yes, correct. Don't want to butcher that. Regardless, he was more fair than that. And yo, Togashi, you gave us a hit with the butterfly wings. First of all, where did butterfly wings come from? That needs to be explained. But of course, it's not going to be explained because he was a one-time villain. And he was really, I mean, Mariam the King, I call him one of the greatest villains. But that by the end of the arc, he wasn't really a villain. But Pouf for sure enough a villain. This dude, like people call him the asshole. Like this dude was just straight ass. Like this dude was a dick. And he was proud and recognized that he was a dick. This dude was the most individualistic, manipulative, backstabbing. He was a prick. He's all the terms you can think of that applies to a dude in the negative. He had murderous intent. He was the most, I can't even say he was the most like that chimera ant. I don't know what the hell he was. Pouf was on some other stuff, dog. I don't know what in the world the queen was eating when she birthed this cat, but it wasn't good. It was toxic, because he was toxic. I don't know who he was in his former life, if it was like that, but yo, this dude was terrible, and somebody need to come out and expose this fairy dude. And yo, I gotta say this, like I made that video, yo, that's gay. I believe, what is it, episode 128, after the king was in ashes, was about to die, after Netero, Chairman Isaac Netero, R.I.P. rest in peace, after he had made that sacrifice to Rose that went off that nuclear, small nuke, miniature Rose, whatever, after that going off, and this dude, and yo, that was very, and it kept going. It was so damn uncomfortable. It was so uncomfortable, man. And even he even infected Yuppie's mindset. Yo, give it to the king. I'll give you more. I'll give you more myself. And the way that, well, Yuppie, it was Yuppie who did. You know what? I'm not even gonna go into that route because it's about to get really sexual, and I'm gonna try to keep this PG-13. Regardless. An expected one to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on Pouf, Shaiapouf. That name, man. And yo, one last point I gotta mention. Yo, the over the top emotional stuff. Like, yo, Queen would have been saying, even Freddie Mercury would have been like, bro, you doing too much. Like you don't have a role in The Wall by Roger Waters. Like, yo, this is. Come on, even if you homosexual, you gotta admit, this dude, if you saw this dude Pouf, he doing too much. He was straight flaming. He was straight, like, come on, what people call a fat, like, this dude was flaming heavily, man. And you may not like the language, but come on, man, he fit the role to a T, to the point, to the dot, to the whatever the hell you want to talk about. Alright, y'all, have a beautiful day, beautiful night, peace. No one's safe. Not even fan favorites.